Welcome to episode 2 of Shadow Alignment. This is an exercise that we do together weekly. The point of this exercise is reflection and shadow work. And the topic this week is flow and detachment. Flow and detachment. So this reflection will help you pinpoint where you need to detach, helps you see and explore where you're trying to control things, where there's an urgency that does not need to be there. The pressures you have been putting on yourself that are interrupting you staying in natural rhythm with your destiny and where you're trying to get rid of them. You're not trying to get rid of them. You're not trying to, what you're trying to do is understand better so that you can know how to work with them better, how to release them. And so you should set your intentions. You should do this first thing in the morning. Whenever you have a quiet space and time to sit down with yourself, grab your notebook, grab your pen. After your kids go to sleep, you need to have a moment by yourself so you can truly reflect with no interruption. And there's no rush here. If you need to take a few days, a few moments throughout the day, answering one question at a time, do that. It's perfectly fine. That's how I do it. Sometimes I'm able just to sit there and write. Sometimes I have to take me a moment or two. Remember, this is about flow. This is not about perfect systems. This is about systems that work for you. Number one, I want you to think, what have you ever been in a state of flow? When I think back, I could think of sometimes I've been in a state of flow, and that's how I know when I'm out of flow, because I could think back to a time where things seemed so blissful, not perfect, but even when things were going awry, I was still able to move and adapt and understand and give grace to myself and others, and it just made things move so fluently. Think back to a time like that if you ever had one, and if you haven't, what would that look like for you? What would it look like to be in a state of flow in your day-to-day activities? Then number two, think about, where do I put urgency in the socket of importance, or the place of importance in my life? Because a lot of times we feel so urgent about things that are not even of us. It's because we're listening to so many things, so many podcasts saying, oh, you need to do this by then. This needs to be done by then. But the honest truth is, we are all on our individual journeys, and we can take some things and listen to them, integrate them into our lives without putting such urgency from others. That might be their moment to do this. That might be their very time to do it, how they're going to do it. Their system might work for them. Take the time and write down some things that you think that are very important to get done in a fast manner, and it gives you anxiety. And then next to them, write, why do I think this? Where is this coming from? Once I started to pinpoint, like having children for some of us, like completing a task, anything, it could be anything you can think of, in the sense of urgency for it. And when I started to put down, where was I getting this from, truly within myself, thought about it and say, okay, I got this from this podcast or that podcast or this system or TikTok or YouTube videos. Then I said, okay, well, do I really think that? Sometimes it was yes, some it was no. And so the more we can eliminate and realize, or turn it into our own version of what we want in our own timing, then it'll keep you in a state of flow, because you feel no pressure, no urgency. A very tough one for me. What am I afraid? What are my fears about letting go of specific strategic outcomes? Sometimes I can hold on dear and tight. We can hold on so dear and tight to things that, and we can feel it when it's time to let it go. Or we can feel that we need to just move back a few steps and see how things play out. But we have fears of abandonment. I know I've dealt with that. Or sometimes in our past, we've had times of feeling shame or guilt or something from just the way we were brought up in a shape. And then, how do I respond when things are not moving at the timeline I feel like they should, or society tells me they should? Sometimes, this is a big one, because this is the main one that force induces, is anxiety. Feeling like, oh, I'm running out of time, I'm not going to be able to do this. Self-doubt too, a lot of times. Sometimes we just straight talk ourselves out of a situation because we are letting force rule over a situation instead of going with the flow. And then lastly, and be honest with yourself. Pick 3 things that you are able, or you feel like you can loosen up on. That's timelines. 3 things in your life right now you feel like, if I loosen up grip on this, that could be a relationship, That could be a job outcome, a car outcome, anything. The urgency for it. I know I've dealt with this sometimes. Oh, I need to lose this amount of weight in this amount of time for this. Da, da, da. And what it does to you is when you force it, it crashes and burns. It's not enough time for you to even get acclimated to a situation sometimes. Or sometimes you can't see the right perspective because you're so in a rush to get the result. The information you can when you feel yourself trying to attach to something, forcing something, moving something that's not supposed to be moved at that time, and you know it's not. You and yourself can feel when something isn't right. Just find yourself in a situation, you say, you know what, this situation is not for me, but what can I do at this moment? One thing you could do is say, I can care deeply without latching on tightly. So thank you for joining me for Shadows of Alignment. And as you go throughout this week, answer those prompts, reflect, think. This is your shadow work. This is what helps you um, erase layers, or not erase, but shed layers, or understand layers of yourself better, and move into your destiny, closer and closer to your destiny. So keep in mind to embody detachment and also the state of flow. And I'll see you back next week.